All right, so today I'm going to be talking about a game that a lot of people may or may not be talking about right now, and that game being JJK Cursed Clash. It just came out 2 days ago, I think, on February 2nd, and I want to premise this video by saying that I'm not a huge fighting game fan. I really only play them because I'm a fan of the anime or whatever IP the game is, aka JJK. JJK is one of my favorite animes, so naturally, I was somewhat excited for this game. I know people had their concerns early on. I didn't watch any gameplay videos before I bought the game, so you probably could say it is my fault for buying it, but I knew I was buying it no matter what, just because JJK is one of my favorite animes. And now it's the first JJK game, so of course I'm going to buy it and try it out. I want to play as my favorite characters. I also want to say that I've only played this game for a very limited amount of time, maybe 2 to 4 hours, but let me say that is enough of this game to play. That was way too long. And also, if you enjoy this game, don't be mad that I don't like it. I'm glad that you probably enjoy the game. I'm sure there is a bunch of people that do enjoy this game, but my experience with the game is it was not very good. It was actually one of the worst video games I have ever played in my entire life. And I'm not joking, not just anime games, one of the worst games I've ever played, and that is not an exaggeration. I'm sure there's worse games. I'm sure there's worse anime games. I'm almost positive there are worse anime games, but I haven't played them personally. And this game, JJK, I cannot see myself playing. It's not enjoyable to play. For me, gaming is when I want to come home, I want to enjoy. I want to sit back and relax and play a game that I enjoy playing. And for me personally, I cannot get any enjoyment out of this game. Now, I do have some positive thoughts on this game, but mostly negative thoughts, and I probably should have seen that coming because it's made by the same people who made My Heroes 1 Justice 1 and 2, and I don't know if you guys have ever played those games, but for me, they were not fun, and I kind of see a similar problem between two games and like in a very minor way. It's just knowing that I didn't like those games at all. I hated One's Justice 2. I probably should have known that I wouldn't enjoy Cursed Clash, but like I said, being a JJK fan, a very big one at that, I was buying the game no matter what to try it out. I wanted to play as Gojo. I wanted to play as Toji. I wanted to play as Maki. I wanted to play as those characters. And the disappointment that is this game is crazy. Now, before I get into the negatives, I do want to say some positives, and that list is very short. The one positive I do feel about this game is that each character does play extremely unique. If you haven't played the game, you know that Gojo is going to play drastically different than Maki, and Maki is going to play drastically different than Yuta, and Yuta is going to play drastically different than Megumi, and so on. No two characters do feel the same. They all have different special abilities. They all have different cursed energy meters, Gojo being one of the highest. I think Yuta might be a little bit higher. Sukuna feels completely different than Gojo. Every character feels different, and that's a good thing, because the one thing you don't want in a game is every character to play exactly the same, no matter who they are. Like, if I were to pick Yuta and pick Maki, they shouldn't play the same. Maki has no cursed energy. Yuta does. And you can obviously summon Rika. Rika will come out on her own once you honestly get your ass beat enough with Yuta. She'll come out and help you fight, which is cool. With Maki, you have a cursed tool, and you're boxing. You have no cursed powers. You're just out there swinging. And Gojo, you can actually activate Limitless. You can unleash his domain. You can do Hollow Purple, Red, Blue. So each character plays different. Inumaki, he has his cursed speech, which is different from every other character, and the characters being unique is the one positive thing I have to say about this game, and I'll get more into that in a little bit about how I think this game could improve in the future. But for now, that is the one positive, and we can get into the negatives. Now, this is going to be a very, very long list, so sit back and buckle up. So the first thing is, I've heard people complain about this before, is that the main menu looks like a mobile game or a DVD loading screen, and it's true. Not the biggest issue. I mean, it doesn't look good though. And in 2024, where other games are, gaming is only getting better in general. I don't know how they drop this and are like, yeah, this is the loading screen we're gonna have the game come out with, because it doesn't look good. It looks awful. It doesn't look like how much was the game? $60. It does not look like a $60 game loading screen. And maybe someone's going to be like, oh, what does that look like though? I mean, to compare it to probably the last anime game that came out of my memory, we can compare it to Naruto Storm Connections. Now, Connections, or the Storm series, is obviously way more established than Cursed Clash, or if they're even going to make this a series or not. But that menu compared to Cursed Clash is a million times better, and you will not be able to tell me otherwise. Now, another thing I heard a lot of people saying before the game dropped was the character models look awful. It looks like a PS2 or PS3 game. The graphics are awful. And to be fair, they're not that good. But if the game were to play good and have the models look like that, it would not be a problem at all. Who cares if the game, of course you want your game to look good, but if the game plays very, very well and the models look like that, I personally wouldn't have cared. Reality, they don't look that bad in my opinion. But what makes it worse is when they look like that and the game plays like, it's like, well, what does this game have going for it? It doesn't look good. It doesn't play good. So why am I playing this game in the first place? And to backpack off that, I guess that's what it's called. I'm not sure. Maybe it's not. But the maps are awful. When you're trying to fight in this game, it's the debris, the stuff in the map would get in the way all the time. Anytime I wanted to play, I'd hope to play on the wide open field map they have at the Tokyo High School, because if not, I can't see what I'm doing. It's just, the maps are awful. And now basically everyone's going to buy this game for the online. The story mode, I'll get into that quick. It's a slideshow. The bosses or the fights are too easy. I only played maybe the first section. I don't know if the enemies get harder or not, but if they do, whatever. It's a story mode. Nobody is buying this game for the story mode. And even if they were, it's just a slideshow. And like you guys didn't make anything graphically good with the game, so you couldn't have at least made a good story mode, good cutscenes maybe. The story mode is a mess. And the reason most people bought this game is they want to play online. They want to play online with their friends. It's a 2v2 game. They want to play online with their friend, maybe fight their other friends, fight randoms. That's basically every anime game. Online is the main attraction. They want to fight online. And the online is a mess. Half the time you try to find a match, it will say network error. It will just keep saying it, and give it 5 or 10 minutes, you'll be able to find a match. And when you do find a match, if one player has a bad connection, it turns into a laggy mess. You gotta remember, 4 people are in the same match, and it really should be no problem. People in battle royales, 100 people join a map, you could say, but when one person has a bad connection in Cursed Clash, oh my God, it will be the worst thing you ever experience. And you can't quit, which I mean is a good thing, I guess, because people would probably quit all the time, but it's such a laggy mess. It makes the game unbearable to play and straight up not fun. The gameplay, in my opinion, is already not fun. And then when you mix it with lag and you hit a button delay, it doesn't work, and then they get an attack off on you, it's like, what am I even doing here? Why am I even wasting my time with this game? Now, one thing that I don't know if people are upset about as me, they probably won't be, is the character selection. To they do have a good amount of characters, but I feel like people like Toji should be in the game. I don't know. I think he's going to eventually come as a DLC character, but either way, put him in the game at first. Everyone loves Toji. I know they probably want to keep that as a DLC character so they can sell DLC down the road, but I think he's a staple character, and he probably should have just been in the original roster. Now, you could probably say, or a lot of people are probably going to say that I'm trash at the game, and I very much am. You can call me trash, that I suck and I should just get good at the game. Cool if you want to say that, but I feel like these are very reasonable complaints that I do have about the game. And I kind of stems more from frustration that JJK is one of my favorite animes, like I've said, and obviously people probably have been waiting for a JJK game for a while. This is the first one to come out, and I just don't understand when you have an IP this big. This is a game that drops. To compare it, I know DBZ Fighters, Dragon Ball's way bigger than JJK. Naruto is way bigger than JJK, but the Storm series, they've dropped multiple games. I know probably the first Storm game wasn't perfect, but I don't know if it would have been this bad. You could have dropped a 2D fighter. I'm not sure what they're called, but like a Tekken, a Mortal Kombat type of game with JJK that could have worked. I know they're coming out with a Hunter x Hunter one, so maybe that's why they decided to drop this game and not that style game, because the Hunter x Hunter one's coming out. But to me, that wouldn't make sense. I just don't understand how this is the product that we got from such a big IP like Jujutsu Kaisen. Now, with all that being said, I do think they can build off this game somehow in some way. If it were me, I'd make the game 1v1. I don't think the 2v2 works very well, just because of the online aspect, just because you can literally get jumped if your teammate is off doing God knows what, and you got your two opponents. They're gonna beat the fuck out you. Like you cannot do nothing. Like maybe you're nice like that and you can, but me personally, the average player of this game, you can't do anything. Make the game one-on-one. Obviously, update the graphics, and also, I feel like this game does have potential somehow in some way, because just how unique the characters do feel. I do feel like that's a very strong point of this game. I feel like they did capture each character very well, and I guess that is a strong, how do I say it? I feel like it resembles, that's the word I'm looking for. I feel like it does resemble JJK very well, because JJK is an anime / manga that none of the characters have the same abilities. Every character is very unique and their own. So to have that in the game, it does make it feel good, where no two characters are gonna play the same. I mean, we probably won't get another Curse Clash for years at this point. I mean, the game literally dropped 2-3 days ago, and they probably won't drop it for another 2-3 years. If we get another Curse Clash, maybe we get a different JJK game. But if they do build off this game, I do think it has potential. I don't know if you guys feel the same way, but those are my complaints, my pros and cons about the game, I guess. Maybe not really, but I do feel like that a lot of people feel similar to me, where maybe they weren't excited for the game, but I feel like a lot of people saw this coming, and I guess I'm one of the stupid people who thought, it wasn't going to be that bad. Let me at least try it out, and it is not worth trying out. So if you are thinking about buying this game and you're a huge JJK fan, I would recommend not buying it, but maybe try it out. I know some people that do like it, so if you like it, I'm glad you like it, because I wish I could enjoy the game like you, but I personally can't. If you guys want to argue any of my points down in the comments, let me know where I'm right or wrong. I'll be glad, because maybe I'm bugging. Maybe I'm missing something in this game. And will I play it again? I probably will try it again. I'll probably give it maybe 30 minutes of my time, and if it's the same thing, I'm just going to quit out, because to think that Persona 3 Reload came out and I still haven't played it, I was playing this piece of shit game, is ridiculous. Yeah, those are my thoughts on the game. Let me know if you guys feel similar. Maybe I'm an idiot. Tell me that in the comments below, but I will see you guys on the next video.